kube nti obi be ka so ye galamsey a no monyaadwen nti the whole bra yenko innocent
yeah dey can mention otie for na mention me nua menka say kroma wo kwan a ya fa so politics sometimes na time and what's in China or observe from a very dispassionate perspective as somebody so much concerned about this country you always be worried because a contaminating issue where you are there obia ya aware that there is nothing new under the sun. The involvement of Chairman to me, the company and the individuals and how your forest not just forest reserve on what sense I say it got to a point here a lot of investigative platforms including Vinukwe Kubakaya Mineral Commission back and forth as to whether he had your friend is saying the power to go into some of these areas back and forth. So the evidence have been very revealing over the years. Enough evidence actually say Abrante Rijuma Odi no. In some no buy at that time, as a responsible president then, nanka ye some effort be ebe coming to bear. Yeah. Na ya come because you bobi this will be ye galam so be sense asia and no and yet just there you need to probe further to ascertain. We didn't do any investigation. The president walked to Koforuria, Brawakushia Catholic bishops. At there and a to me say the gentleman was not doing anything illegal. When indeed he was in the forest mining, destroying forests in as a form just say and we had near man now all ye clearly a chero say yen soni and sasia na essay near man na kosunyina odimu atintimare. So me dear see and na no be who lands minister or your press conference or revoke lances and as for me just say it cannot just be my revoke lances. Yeah. This is a guy who has perpetrated act of criminality against the state. Because Nema Omayan or Kroman so in Sas wouldn't the power of my farm or more. And Sasia said, how long is it going to take? We cannot live in a country where some of these highly politically exposed or connected individuals engage in some of these illegal activities. Then they will say, I buy into your alliances, and it ends there. No, I'm expecting the Attorney General will pick this particular issue up. Any outstanding way be a coso, in Sonin Sasia or Maseni Biano, they must answer. And not just a contaminated, not just my wound to me. I'm telling you, evidence they never brave from Professor Frimpong Watson investigation to other investigation, including Anna's own. These are crimes. You perpetrate you see the impact in a video. No, Forest na said no. Ain't me and my back unless we make conscious effort to reclaim the land. So these individuals have made millions of dollars from these illegal activities. Sure. Poison sase, kidney disease, we cannot just allow these things to slide. So I think that government has to up the game. Now you're making sure that individuals say evidence we need to prosecute each and every one of them. Say best serve as a lesson to obi our abine way. Yeah. And I say obi out not doing some oil financier. Didn't say financier, way for no, and they think they are untouchable, they can do whatever that they want. As we speak, there are people still doing some of these things. I think that you see, this approach must be very holistic. Now your mumra say you so near and sass and embrace share that who near who knew who kind na say obi this small scale mining and she say near my some guidance be must come to bear. Sabaya yen say yen so near and sass. Now what buying power all of a sudden you become empowered to the extent that you can just go into the forest and do it. I'm not sure say your friend say on mind bet me to pon because chama won't me o can say me 2016 average on Muhammad because and some of his things were confiscated. Yeah. Go for Adubai, everything was returned to him. They even paid him a compensation at the time. And then the guy was liberated. That was why he was at that time, he moved from normal concession site to forest reserve. And he was being protected by soldiers in the military. Then it also comes to mind. Your political power, Because power na yenya no,
yeah.
we are supposed to use that same political power to guide the state, protect the state, protect the people, and commit to the welfare of the people just to ensure say resources na okroma no ye be in such a way say e be benefit the people of this country. But unfortunately for us, and then power na yenya, we look at your friends say selfish parochial interest and you pursue very narrow interest as to whether say near na ye no affected the larger life prospect of more Ghanaians. We don't care, and at the end of the day, you have the state, the establishment will defend and protect you, and it's the reason why some of these highly connected individuals within government were able to do some of these things. You see, at some point he was not on the president.
Sure.
To that point, he said some of the investigation now could do a court to grab bar. Your friends at the investigative body said they shouldn't even mention his name anywhere. We cannot live in the country and allow some of these things to happen because if a reasonable person, you wake up and you look at our forest, you look at our water bodies, you look at the toxic exposure, you should be worried. But we cannot prioritize the greed of few individuals who are twisted mind because they have political connections and they think they can do whatever. Then majority of people will be languishing in some of these things that we see. So for me, I think, you see, there must be a certain renewed effort.
Okay.
Some of these individuals involved in some of these criminal activities, we need to prosecute them. Go back for the documents. Professor Frimpong Boateng is alive. He's the one who authored that particular report. He can collaborate with the security agencies. These are some of the things I want to hear. But your press conference is good though, just to keep people. But you see, we need to move beyond that. For instance, I brand here now, you say, the millions of dollars, what's the free way for account, the Signals Brewery. Press conference. Yes, I'm expecting that by now, courts have started holding us. Because you see, some of these things, and when you act slowly, like some of these things are a killing momentum, and more people begin to ask questions. They're their cost, so they're their cost. Because after the press conference, we were made to believe that evidence, everything was already available. So what are we waiting for? You understand? There must be some swiftness in our effort just to ensure that we punish crime. Deterrent. We don't punish crime because we hate the individuals. And I say, punish individuals because or your way and answer or your way. Never no more yan stop it is near manaya or mine a better and some. Because in other jurisdiction they take it further. Now no make catch a South Korea sitting president has been impeached because or declared martial law. I'm a soldier for Korea Parliament. Parliament. What is the investigation? The president has been impeached by Parliament or Assembly Court, Supreme Court. Supreme Court unanimously ruled said no, you had no power to declare martial law. Nemana way was deemed unconstitutional. See, I'm no South Korea. President Nitifi, Yapamno. Because of Nema why can't we take you from some of these things? Here, I'm for your power. They become so powerful to the sense that power now when you call the Union Sandia. Can I say different thing? Power, no? That is why you see certain foolishness coming to bear. The decisions and the consequences of their decision, our far-reaching consequences on the fortunes and the life of the people, but we don't care because we are in power. I think that we need to set the stage now. Just to ensure that we pick the pieces, some of these things, and going forward, you see, galamsey my country, we cannot, the same approach, so you for Colland, for freezing, Rollins time, Nano Minnesota Nibicasa, or say Rollins time, no Mukum coaches for out of the forest. How many years now? It's been 30 years. We are still here. People are still there. Now the numbers are increasing. In policy wise, we need to come up with something very comprehensive. We bet me I assuage this individual because my culture is one of the motivating factor when it comes to young people going into some of these things. Poverty. You cannot take a man from his livelihood without providing an alternative. So as a package as a policy plan, the government need to look at how I restitute these individuals, win them off from this illegal mining to something very productive. So if you go to the mining areas like Obwas and other places, beneath their feet, people are mining gold, millions of dollars, and they are taking the monies away. What do you expect them to do? They will do some of these things, you understand? And more benefits, and that's a different thing. There are campaigns somewhere who are politically connected and highly exposed individuals. At the end of the day, control all these things, sitting in the shadows. I think that our approach, we need to revise it and make sure, focus should not be on politically distant, but a comprehensive approach dealing with the problem on the ground. Yeah, yes, sir. A better like washing your feet, a bra wash socks. Now when you're shame. That is why 30 years after we are still here.
Yeah.
I am looking at, let us go beyond the rhetorics. Let us go beyond the individuals involved. Like such a stage, say, at this point, Ghana for unanimously have come to terms. Say, we don't want galamsey. We don't want people satisfying their greed. Our detrimental way on the fortunes of these people. We need to make sure that for your mining, it should be responsible mining. And again, your mineral regime, everywhere be a message. And I'll say this: we need to look at how you better renegotiate. Not Ghana and your stake, because other countries are moving a step further by nationalizing all their state assets. Why can't we do the same thing? Burkina Faso, that is what he's doing, and some other countries. By the 2%, it doesn't make sense. And now young people are becoming increasingly enlightened. They know, say, they have a stake. It's the reason why I call mining areas now. Most of the young guys are coming up. In the next 10 years, they will rise and chase these companies out. They see similar things are likely to happen in the future if we sit aloof and don't do nothing about this situation. Because you think now people are consuming information, they're becoming enlightened. You don't become enlightened and sit down. No. Nobody consumes information, become enlightened and sit idle. When they consume information, they will act on it. And it's the reason why you see some of these wave of activism on various social media, because now people have become enlightened. So we should be threatened by some of these things if we don't do the needful. I'm calling on all stakeholders. Say, your mineral regime, your resources, we need to look at it critically. I'm happy government is working on demand just to take it away from. Yes, we need to nationalize all these things. And yes, sir. Boys, if they have nothing, they will rise. And my culture say, youth, they are very dangerous because they will do everything to survive. Hopelessness, they are drive a lot of people into way. So we need to sit up and comprehensively, look at our mining regime. Look at some of these things and the prospect. Because a man for to me free China, number 2 gold, no more science as first we can do it here by forming minor state-owned companies at the district level. You will train individuals, but they have the skills, highly equipped with the knowledge, everything. At the back of these people, we can employ some of these young folks to help in this mining activity. Now, fortunately for us in Africa, we have youthful population that's for over natural resources are you will be. Over human resources are you will be. Are there any nyansa? I don't know who nim nyansa.
What's the any other?
Oh nyansa. Because when I don't know who nim nyansa, the one nyansa about the fako. Now what do you know? How say you will go? In abundant our soil, Africa has I think so you could work for we are next.
Yeah.
Na yenya saa nneema we nyina na kwabra ne betima ma betu ni nyina da ko se tu na fa kwana ma me royalty na da wo bodam. How can you do this? You understand? Yenya oil na ya negotiate omo metu no omo 10%. You can't do this in this modern world. You understand? In the past there may be ebi na ye ninim dia wo ho afi na na about the resources the whatever but can you say the same thing? I think we need to rethink. Now, your approach, now your politics, now every benefiting nipa. We are creating criminals out of this politics. We are making people rich, but the state is getting poorer. But the whole essence of governance, leadership, politics is taking care of the nipa now, the marginalized in society, welfare of the people. But that is not our politics. And look at how people have become fabulously rich, all because they are in power. We cannot continue to do. My culture said the only last leg. Ghana democracy so this Mahama administration, and it must inspire trust, confidence, and hope. Because say Ghana we will lose our democracy. I'm telling you. So this is a test case for us. We need to be tough. That is why I'm happy the president is taking and making tough calls. You understand? Because at this point, you need to be strong and make sure that the decisions that you take, will inure into the benefit of the larger people of this country and not the Obibitin. And if we go on this line, trust me, I think things will work out.
Richard.
National Party leadership of NDC. Namadi Chasron Kuswama, he says as the president. My power at the Magana think about 100 days in office, so far so good. And then the resetting agenda is on course by the president. Make sure the Greater Accra Regional Secretary, Honorable Theophilus Tetechai, maybe will be an Onyankopon Kanona Anton Kwanem. Enra Greater Accra MMDC list APA. God so good. Domabla Boom conference in Kassaus. Yatiasem there. Amen. Constituency chairman Kabute Okansi is the current Kassaus Municipal Chief Executive. Yebeda party in Benefono Ase say Omatimide Sadia Sonko de Amaye. Me twasono na meka about the current developments about Akonta mining.
Yeah.
Akonta mining. Amon say some yi and nyama bia a hard drain. Na anya de bia sese o mine ankasa yesoso. Ni kwanse so Akonta mining so kra because o share enyama isisi yefa Akonta mining ho a nanka President Akufo-Addo ankasa anka wo obi a eye nitini ye ti a edaso dai pa anka Akonta mining ka ene chama untumi ka odam isan say papa no enyama wo ye treasonable, but isan say ye di bibia ye politics ntino obi di bone na so say politics e chikura mpo a ntimi enhwe ne enche no na emfa mra no endi no Akonta mining nko ano onim say e ba public nim na videos ka na broad daylight shooting between Akonta mining and a certain mining company more legally more concession.
Yeah, it's true.
Samates, I don't know a timber company.
Yes.
Timber company. Yes.
Samates, was Samra boy.
Yes. Akonta mining shooting because now more Akufo-Addo as a president. Media Matimpo say President Akufo-Addo mpono. Yes, so was share Akonta mining. Share ye masanya ma we na ye dey ekoso a bra na ye wo evidence ani o say yemfa yenchi Akonta mining ne omo ko gina emra no president no dane no ho the public relation officer of Akonta mining, president of the republic echo declare in public say Akonta mining enye boni bia ankampo se oni bibia mpo obeya afa ho a enanka jama investigation bodies no they should take charge. Nanka omo investigation na findings on beba omo de beba no omo vamra nanka ye hu sampa Akonta mining nye boni na so we de bibia kire say Akonta mining omo rura forest nim reserves nim in fact enam Akonta mining so entina President Akufo-Addo LI na prohibit mining companies say omo be mining our reserve forest lands no President Akufo-Addo ko sign LI presidential Emma Emma ho kwa Akonta mining area forest increase reserve lands ekoye mining ewo honom ade bia anya de pa na President Akufo-Addo hwema sa ne mani nyina koso ene John Dramani Mahama be take over and coming put the coming say they will show some kind of level of respect for the change of government. Say the president and the minister ama Kofi-Bua honorable member of parliament and come with the respect we man say change of government assistant president is serious in fighting galamsey enti Akonta mining nyama boni ni yensu omo se no ni a forest omo se no and come be jai. So they have no regard and respect for our people in our state and the president's effort to fight galamseyers. So they continue to do it. And they are kwache omo. Yes, is you omo niyama. Me pacho. Say niyama yes is you galamsey site ni nyina no. Yemfa bra na yemfa nya djuma because ya omo ya kwan nya niyama bebre wo no ma. You betime use some machines we near the ye dia ye the Nyankopon say some machines na kwatete ye no enyira ye te say NPP time excavators etutu yira ye no enti no mo hwe na akonta mining baby bia was yem form ngina na yenje nyema na o maselo no ye make sure say ye be use o mo musika company ni sika bi ya ko reinstate forest no because unim say per research no o hwe the kind of forest I might destroy no was our western part of Ghana now. It will take in every acre of land beyond about $40,000. And they be reclaiming the forest. Every acre of land, oh. And you look at the amount of money Chama to me let Akunta mining. Every on my way we need to reclaim the forest. And see me can't say no. Let me can't say Akunta mining, Chama to me, President Akufo-Addo and his cronies, former mayor of Kumasi, also we yet say no also can illegal mining no home. Omunyina yebi. Any other party member or involved no in galamsey. How to a good year this say yen sioni a forest no. Ye mam ran no omunye dey. Endi. After so unim said currently the new CEO for Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jenfi, and then the sector minister, Lands and Natural Resource, they are doing so well, so well. Now, omoye nyama we nyina no na make sure say the actual proceed we supposed to get and benefit from our minerals no is protected no. Omo make sure say they will protect the unborn generations because who them say and as a result of nyama e di 2 galamsey ni sa nyama no utimi wo akola na ne nsa ba ko ni ho utimi wo obi na ne nan ba ko ni eni ho enti omo hwe na omo nya hyehye pamfan to ho ma te se go for daman for mu concession na omo gold omo to a nanka about 30 years omo pa renewal for mine no ye no matras ya pese sa dwumadie no enkoso me de contractor ye san ye decades ago ni nyina no na bad and shambolic contracts na contracts no na there's no way I never benefiting on my Ghana and pan so share time almost sign those contracts ni go that you to Ghana has no anke was say minu mienu ani menuam penifo ya no mutie yi e was say anka yenya esonfaso die bia ba yen ukọ baby ti se Kumasi Kubain, Patwam, no. When you see the lives of the people living over there, no, cry for them. You cry for them. They lack basic social amenities, including water, basic water to drink, health facilities. Their roads are so bad. Last 3 days, me say, Amasi on baby. Car, the amount for Kumasi Ababedi Gano. Ann Roberts at Twash almost so, Essan said, Omukwano, and yet the bad nature of the road. In Sanya money, Yanni and Nemabia, see, I share near to Tony and Pet, Nipuma Sibra. A time may come, the youth of this country will rise against us. Now, President Bianiho, I'll bet me a Jinaho. Now, what me are facing the youth. And yes, sir, John Dramani Mahama. He's fighting the galamsey so serious. I was a gun in India and support the effort by the current president. Now fighting the menace. Now, friends, we have got no contract. Never no companies like Kesiano. I'll move to go no Ghana. You make sure say no sign proper contracts. Okay. Now you judge this 10%, 15%, and this kind of 1.5% royalties are. You try the man on mine, okay. Who say they are just milking from this country away. Nanka me expect to say one thing, and Nanka me expect to say the Ghana Gold Board and combating no man make sure say is doable. Say and this big mining firms are almost to gold no, and come to gold now. They need to sell into the Ghana Gold Board. Okay. Say the justice the actual quantum of gold are omutu. Okay. Now the benefit there was a emblem from man we know. Yes, I bet my day. I can na bo bia. All right. Bradley so wakwaba.
Yeah.
And see and man front in while late nana.
Oh, we should have late because
Na mados.
Okay. Martin. Now we be back. Martin.
Because it's a Thursday, no, my catch on me, say, Munya mount. But the bin almost so Montias.
Or more better than Montias, and I'm over to me, Macon.
My mother said, best sorry, I'm matching.
All right.
But maybe I'm Sunamiti. I mean, the kind of attention Abraham upon I'm not sure. Now, man, for mammy pressure, I can make a quick book with the approach. When the Indian punching them,
now, you can't say. Can boss you crave anything? Zuba so about church, one more mamma inmate area, most Montiasi. Yara, what am I assembly to be called Chief Justice issue? So,
Obaya, on my way on, you're no crano as but I was here, said you didn't create it here, you cut a nina. Omo mpeno kreno ye sekire no kachira o me best Frida minister here sa press conference by my being say me ko minister na me na kudin kita but me ne kita hudie bi previously ama me hu sani usiye ne neoma enu nti no anya abotre kakra
ba no
yes because me nim sani otie me nim se odi abotre dwanta tie nya ne nso enu nti on behalf of the many Ghanaians na omu susu se e wo senka minister fa kwan bi so na ojai sun no Maybe I'm obey again. Then so no, we nya botre kakra.
Okay.
Hwe adia wontumi aye on my way. Emi obi na be ka che aban se aban fa ntu. Because say me na me ya. Enke ye nwe ho.
Yeah.
Say innocent na ye ya, ye nka so we innocent. Anunti no most often no na yema enkofo to some judgments across wabra ensem fata say ebi kura na enka anyoma ni bi wo a yebe kwa agina ene yebua what you say
yeah
wontumi ye mamboye ni and se wo hwe video no a enye nwanwa de ntia na minister esu because se wo hwe kwaya sabi anyini che wontumi na nakanso a
aseno
na watimi de excavator akowram wontumi hye ase ese wo fefe na kwakodi security wo London UK security man wadi security na wonhu ne ho ano e no ye se no man we kra se wo agudie no sha se no ne China fo bi e ba e no be bi e company bi e wo no ni din mu ba na China fo ni sika
na no dey
ye ne friend no handsome mine na omo de sa tu ye China ni na wo ba Ghana na waje $1 million na wa ma kwa mo abi no wo no akotwa asase ama illegally na was it two ya kakabensam sa na skaba ne nsam no afi was spreading the wings it is a breno na ye Professor Mills aban ba na ye John Mahama ena oye police council head ti what try so the police be adwuma no na it got to a point na police no got corrupted by Untumi and the associates. And I go Mahama, Bekaya,
Oma military no ekoye adwuma wabra wabeye mampani saa time na professor Melsi akone crèche na me fa le crèche menu mienu nyina kai the esi between Wontumi ene Owura Mahama
yeah
wabra na all say kwaye saa time no na asofo mpanifo nipa asabi omo ka bi ewom wo ma ewe mu no instead say omo betia Wontumi no omo se John Mahama na enye edididi mu ma fe be ye say John Mahama empe Wontumi asem otano obi a wo say kwaye sensuo sensase metane se me tana gene de en afede ye say John Mahama kra ko hihye Wontumi excavators be ye asem organa ema ye say emse aban fofo ekufo ado aban ne bae no okoje ho judgment debt
yeah
sikatwitwi dia e de ma no e cha otwe ho ni na empanifo se ena de mefa eja de mefa eno de kro no kese ba so ma me de enkwan ko si fridge mu na wo wia emunamre na sebi utodra wo nkwan mu wo abre etodra wo apumu anase sebi esuo mu a say na eba eti me menye surprised at all they Wontumi aye
okay
because they have treated him with kids gloves o mama na yet say oh Ghana ha oh on sikani awadi for that
tino so Wontumi
tino abre bia no wo ye na ade te say so onya sika nko ade a obetimi dey buy anyway but it's unfortunate say enne no wakwa ko hia obi a onye sikani o amabo a wo ye odefo obi a woni mboa no na wakọ sabi omo anchi ewo eye elembele
yeah
wakọ busa say wan no ne from boa the boa family no kone ko busa omo nchi de na woni bie kura ampo no de woni bie kura ampo no ya yesi o we de sabi oni kapre no
yeah
me penishu ashan na dia yi de woni bie no enti no we no wanya obi a sabi ebi a oje dama etusire akosia obi a oye defo Wontumi no eye sikani wanye sika na boa no ye odefo
dada wono nya politics na ma wanya sika
sikani tipeni odefo
yeah
enti no me de papa say we no nya dia okwa akosia boa say ma corrupt no eho ne dia mama ni tie ye to so bi enti se susuan pa say ye say there was state institutions law enforcement agencies they said the Ghana Police Service, the military, all those security agencies, no, the BNI or the NIB or the National Security Apparatus, no, you say adie way na Wontumi aye ya say yen sa aseni yen suo ni ya kwaye under the guise of mining. Yeah, company na wako biye no. Akonta no eye Kufuado. Oba ne de me se makase me nua ba me moniji. But Kufuado na ya akonta no. Na Wontumi se akonta to akonta. Wontumi no sa ba na eye Kufuado. Ya enu nti no ya bie ho akonta mining no. Oba no kreska no onya bi ni.
Onya skani bi ni.
Onya bi di no mo mama na so de ne ono am so eso ono am. Eti company na ya Kufuado dia. Akonta mining mi si ni pi se akonta mining no ya Kufuado dia. Wontumi na ya work campaign. Ono oye hweso ma me. Na mo no Wontumi fa president ekobie company.
Yeah.
Eti wo na wo ye makonta. Eti ko ne ko bie company no na yanye work and pay.
Mensha wachi.
Eti Wontumi sorry a no asisa ofo. Hanyina ye na nadia. Muntu. Hanyina ye na nadia. Muntu e no de omukura forest. No muntu kwaye ni muntu tu munyoma bibi semria no se kwaye obi concession wo twadua wo. no mu ko wura no mu twa nnua no tugu ye ono de dua ode ye den
ofa dua na nyere
edua sabi forest reform ma kwan se twa no watwa otimi twa no watutu ase no aye ho no basa nnua wa buagu no enye nnua ketwa kwaya wasai no hwe ba bia ye ka ho asemi uhwe nnua wasai na ni esi ye quantify a besen etimi de me discreet apparatus no nyina ho ya
okay
say you don't have to have orders from the president or the minister say obi ko via omaya de na o share the chronology of events okowura kwaye nim ekufado hu say waye illegality na wo hu say eye abai foforo ba obenya punitive ayi bi no and o say okay ye koye mra bi na emra no entre say ubetimi kura mine wo
forest reserve
just because of akonta mining just because of akonta mining boni anu wedia minister kura no at that time no be kan say akonta mining adwuma na wo ye no ese kwaye no ese nsuo no ntino omunya adwuma ye ewa president no waji akonwa no waye press conference say me abuginapo me meyewu sebi obi awu kwakwahwe akwa me meyewu yie na me de me madwuma wo mese no akonta ma na nya hwe o te so obu ntumi di o si akonta de
mining
when na ya akonta no ntumi na ya na akonta
okay
enti no se wo hwe de ekọ ni nyina research no it means a lot
okay
what must I say it means that we should begin from our minds. Na yen research ya adwen. Na yen chart new path. Na yen drive your new force. Enkofa Titi in someone ekoso police ntimi nya na adwuma abie na for kromada your friend is saying national security minia razak wada debi. I was say by now ya yire no.
Okay.
Takufa don pona muntimi nyire na.
Ada ne ntimi nyire so 3 years na nso yin.
There be 3 years na nso ye. E na sabi o de fa ne se ono wako abu. Se yesuma benyansafo.
Yesuma na mate.
Beti se me Akufa do krampo se me hu nyansampo na me suma abakwasea. Bakwasea no onye na so twen.
Okay.
E bedru dra bi a investigation be kire se Akufa do na suma no. Na ye nyina ye hu se muntumi aso twen aba. Anya sa na say bi obi ko wia tomatoes ana obi ko wia bode ekom ene de no na akokye na menti ase se police be kwakwache obi a ko wia bode na obi a ono timi ase kwaya asensuo asensase ono de wafa ne hu adi etimi ana mi nua no
okay
omo nyire ne pampe senya sa so so na omo ntimi nyire no a omo mehwe ye wo boys a omo betimi akwache
o metimi ayere no mate
okay obi mama lie say yes we dwane akotena UK the trigger na heko UK 7 hours
wo bedru sisi ya
7 hours
okay all right
so da su kra ni UK papers na na say kompra so kra mo ma interpol kwachiro
okay
no mra me answer questions
okay
anya sa research no eso ni faso oh esa na de be kasa eni ma duwo anya kasa o
action
action
okay
enti no ya be sere omo oh se ya down omo because me no enya ndisi a me nka me yeku e wa Kufa do apreso me ya ka me ye but and now say me when it does so say
yeah
do mahama be ni yie ni nti no ene ye nyina ye nu nsuo twen o pese enyo so da fo kwa yeku o bi da o
civilians is yeku
ka Kufa do ka obedwane a conscious boxer shot na ko bi ehun ne danto ne sema
okay
just because of John Mahama Oba, like me and say innocent kind, you know. John Mahama is the last legger. Na bemwo we Ghana for betimi anya gidi wo say democracy ni betimi agina.
Betimi agina.
Say Felipe
asemaba.
We will pick the bull by its own.
Okay.
I'm not saying we meaning that Ghana for nyina.
Okay.
Ghana for including Obi Kurampa, Sebi Wadano. We will awake all the way no. Now Yatimia Buama Sebi Yafai to my pefra because who said dear Trari Yewo Bokina no. Senko Fasa democracy kwande so anke won.
Nko won ti menye.
Of Fasa kwan na yen adwe say nya kwan pa so no. And then he's better than even the ECOWAS that we are discussing at 50 no.
Okay.
But you know, looking at that example no, we don't want us to think say soldier buying.
Okay.
But in any case, if soldier buying po yakase enye in the past, presently, what are their records?
Okay.
All three, their records are not bad. And nothing at Mahama, or ya no action on my ben. When ECOWAS had at least giving them some form of webia as a yen to already a action on my ben. Say no Ghana for so because they say try that Ghana no only John Mahama contest election. John Mahama be lose. That is the style I pay. So even while you are gentle, make sure you crack the whip like you are doing. Say about.
Yeah, about. Yeah, about your time in the yeah. Okay. Okay.
And what happening here?
All right. Innocence. Chief Justice and matters arising from minority to suspension and other things.
Yeah, I think Chief Justice has said me, I can't.
Yeah.
You see, I take a certain twist. And Rabbi who are brandy and Franka Cranka, also a demonstration, you said, and you.
Nana B.
It's only a friend.
Nana B.
You could see clearly, sir, the issues are a honor. Or more sway the conversation and people are pursuing a certain political agenda. Yeah, my culture say Yakotoaba, not Ghana for concern about our judiciary. That there is the need for us to prune it. Because one institution I aim to mean fairly. A failure in a way will go down. Yes. So the Ekosono is not something I would say politically motivated. And the Ekosono beginning nearby, and I was John Mahama and Asha see and I not just so Chief Justice and then Yamiadum petitioners and Obi anymore.
Additional to crowd
first petitioner, I a police officer 5. And yet a police officer no, he's a lawyer or greater crowd ACP or the same court. And the idea 7 year bogun so. And now Wajatum not ho. Mammy, my better can't say Omunipa. They virtually look down on almost everybody. And you know, Nipana Wadina Samawia were one for no. Then, according to the gentleman, who can your friend saying Mosara Manipan and who senior lawyer Albert and I wouldn't share that kind of remark. And I'm a minute court and all can move Biatra. All good police in any mass our court.
Now her titles, they're not there.
And what would that attitude no chim na no ko heba bia asa bia asa ko school was ro police no ya I a lawyer wadi na sem wadi ne for fine waje atom then off record comments and who as a disparaging comment who go na nima say and then the police officer can say I disagree with you my man say police boy monchino and the police officer was detained oh yes. That is what happened in the petition. And you know, Assembly has nothing to do with the NDC. A personal way, ODB.
Okay.
Yes.
And then Nipa Kramba.
Yes.
Say, your friend said, say no, they are me. Police no, I'm a lawyer. And my culture that your friend Adibi, your friend say, sir, your friend say, a latest arrogance. Bina, Menkwana Mako school, they look down when we Nipa, that kind of attitude, you know. And Abra, John Mahama. Conference we are so bold dia or team na no style we na man for free say no that is that because the gentleman in the petition described it say that was the same thing the posture go and read the petition team na no we are so we share na about that kind of way na say nipa no so or disagree with you immediately na arrest him and the police arrested the police officer and he was detained. That is what happened. So it has nothing to do with so BNDC and so the other people, no, and so there has to do with the Sika.
Yes.
Would you plane ticket? Chief Justice Baba, you are for 1 billion and the plane ticket to America. Yeah, or my Sika. Am I 1 billion? Oh, how many young ladies in this country? And and even 1,000
cities
but state need to 1 billion. A man about plenty kita alone or kwana ya see piano your friend say
per diem $10,000.
You see the argument and say or you entitled to, you see, yes, oh to quite to me na busia na say for, but we are talking about a private travel and the arrangement is that oh kwa who as a person and I'm saying we chief justice, you know, we will pay, don't worry, but state, you know, you were interested in and for police in security do what she say yes I kwana bi adia kotowa. The state will have to suffer for that.
Sure.
Honor nimyansa security tranchai meba bra. So the entitlement of the security officer nobody you know rather comes to the daughter.
How?
Enya greed. Police ni no you be kuro you be hero odi wachi kwa anya hwenko no so no ne nsa beka sa neema no because there is a reason why the state made it possible say oh kwa the private way no for security di wachi say oh you security no tena ncha na ode ne baba sha no twa plane ticket 1/1 way man no ena okotua per diem ya ansi ba ko pe another trip oko ena ode ne kunu
DHC security na nine.
DC security na nine and ordinary call wow we remember one for member. These are petitioner and otherwise no has to do with Nema so speaker issue no whole back on crowd there accusations are the man chief justice Marco 21. Time in ho can go through ni 21 accusations and also Sadiguma menoso yes oba na obeyi ne ho ano. Now, dear member can atwas na ya won say we in the politics say Council of State I go through all these accusations and am coming to conclusion say no asem no nyensem hunu yentimi montungu anti Council of State I can asem ebia na manfo nim the composition one of the immediate past Chief Justice so for Yakufu Unim Akoto Bam for dissenting those times, you know. She's a retired Supreme Court Justice bench in the Council of State in Hubi. And a mammy way NDC ni Betty Bodidrusu or a former Attorney General. Yes. Ojia ho sa o ne be so obi ani ba bi ofriba omunyina keka ho bi so when it comes to Emra former Chief Justice also former Supreme Court judge. So these are issues I won't mean to say petty keke na I'm not sure that John Mahama can even pick a phone and call for Yakufu say I don't know any merit money merit. The president cannot do that. He cannot call Akoto Bamfo and tell her say yes it means and seven more cano credence wom. So a say na political party jita nani and John Mahama bae nipo mo luso mo jima high profile individuals bebre. Why is NPP not speaking for those individuals? Na mum we no mo kasama no. Enra tamale say ya fan say CEO no that tamale teaching hospital no. See you know di. I don't think that you on press conference. Yeah. So you see that kind of attitude, you know. I say I don't know omo nkwa na betimi aye obi kwaya I wouldn't even Santia Nisa one away because petition I can't answer me. Are you aware, say, Shraj boss? Your first President Mills and appointed no. MPP political and not on pre. On Richard Niama, Omukwa petitioners or Omoya MPP for throw petition the command John Mahama say, Ma mena or your Shraj boss no what disika, Shraj boss in the status at the justices of the High Court in the or throw petition the command is a mamina disika. John Mahama J petition no go through setting up committee mo go through at the end President Mahama removed
that Shrad boss. I remember that.
The Shrad boss was appointed under NDC, but Ednam said they're not air cost no equity and President Mahama removed the Shrad boss. The same MPP or no Numuni pass send the petition that command John Mahama will follow through the constitution. And if he's following through the constitution, what is your business? And again, suspension of judges. This is not the first time.
Yeah.
And now straw petition the command President Mahama says some judges be akwa jam ponche na nkoko. Asem no President Akufo-Addo. And some no course na amoye omo find this omo hu say merit wom no mo nya ni asem no we President Akufo-Addo suspended these 4 judges including Justice Derry. Okay.
Yeah.
And sana final ruling neighbor abonten and sana opama one. So you see, these are powers are clothed. Our president war, and the Akufo-Addo can do the same thing. Why can't John Mahama do the same thing?
Because they're your mama.
Because they're your mama. You see that kind of way, no, looking down upon people say, oh, we didn't mean the way. Because Mekasa say, we are the poor winning yansa and can this petition, you know. And go no more kind of back as a baby. And come walk civil society organization be a cheer. So I'm back as a mount. Never I see one any credible civil society organization where all can be chief justice. What is that India? So here, I think that the president must remain focused. Ghana for say your Supreme Court and there is a problem. Individuals are on one their personal dealing or more debonnier diomo. Policy no kind of petition in some woman. Yeah, over about nipa no sua de akodo police ACP at the court dia sema we nipa nyina o media o nanim ase na okọ react say I disagree with you we say police for nche no
na also disagree with you ada we ya hwan ya wo buru mra so ana I mean
yes kan so no sa be ma na oye ne sa no me hu ofa ni kunu ni nyansa wa be che ni kunu wa school che ni kunu
yeah to be a police officer what they go through.
Exactly.
Law, no? You can't just look down upon that person. And that is the attitude. With the Anamakacha, you see, these people are living in the past. In those 1990, we are Kokotina, me a judge, and the generation where Anamakacha. Yeah, but say, Pontius Pilate, no, Mosha, that dear Chem Kunta, and a crab by and then I wouldn't say Muna, Nipapakana Biacha. Sir, my lord, no, I'm for respect you based on what you do, not because you're Chief Justice.
Sure.
Now, who for not know your president, the crown, now I'm for come out drinking. How many yes, now as a president, the crown, I'm for come out drinking. How much more Chief Justice because I disagree with that was a Monchero.
Now, Yachina could detain you.
Yachina detaining Namaka. Sunday, my way in another cataclysm. Yes.
After the ruling.
Yes.
After the ruling.
Yes.
Don't like doesn't even make sense.
Yes. What did
did you ever think that he was going to appoint any very serious brain?
Yes. Because
considering his posture.
Because as a Chief Justice, you know. Reasonable. So you have to be very reasonable, very accommodative, that kind of stuff. Obia can some kind of that kind of way. The bottom line is the judgment has been passed already. Where lies this commenter? And in her response, you know, she couldn't refute that particular. I read the response. The response, she could not refute. Saying some now branch can and no correct now. Decisions are on Fanum Cotum, and now one judge, your friends a decision. Now I represented the view of your friends all other way.
It's the judges now only in an Timothy with Tibo. I disagree in your funny too. And as I just no crying, I was here some question.
Fanum Concotum, and a 7 branch no cano, and yet enough, any basis a bit me active. 146, and that is for the offense the committee to decide.
That's the reason why people are saying the response no cramp more serious.
Yes,
because I admitted to all the allegations.
What you say about Papa? Na some to any pack. Judge ya ote your offense committee enemy Panama has been at the Supreme Court. Yes, in China any pan go and check the records. Panel in baby because they tag him with certain wins until recently as a near society now I know most slotting in the back could be about see between the two no and now quarter with junior and him. I'll bet to us why what your friend is saying oba beka we did not corner not police officer. Now, Obia, we are begging. I'm going to, and I'm going to catch us. We will be or you are going to crack the committee. You know, be comfortable
to have at least to have all that embarrassment.
Another one, and not nipple back home. We did know I don't believe.
Yeah.
Then we also can win. Okay, don't want the year. Chief Justice, Omotana case in this man Dominigo, I call retirement and Sana ye dinner and then Okotran and you to us the Nabasa. So Obabra Papa near the wedding. So for me, I think that Niamana Ekosono, there is no political offense under to be a woman unless Obiwa whatever we are talking about evidence. Because police in the personal experience and all that on the petition. The other group near Shining Star, also no experience or Monya and Niamo Monya and other person, other Nerofol, or also I outline 21 cases against Chief. On the Nidiano Yao Urema airtime. Jachi question issue no. Yet we ma order near Bowra court computers or other from above. And never cause of chrome how me say nya that I didn't go through the petition. You will be shocked. And a petition about one thing, so one of my yeah.
Also respond
Because Paul I don't watch in the me who the petition no. Because Abra President Mahama or cho letter their command akwa jet say on money bino that letter no got leak. Petition in Saka and anybody wants Paul I don't watch the edit TV so yeah. So fight it's not just response. You use political anger. I'm a fighter, but some of these things I'm fact because I see a different John Mahama, very firm, resolute, and ready to do the right thing. I'm sure say he should go ahead because that is the reason why Ghanaians voted for him. Because Ghanaians will not admit failure, they will not admit weakness. The focus on this thing goes beyond the Chief Justice. It's not about the Chief Justice. It's about the sanctity of the institution called judiciary. We cannot be having criminals living, individuals who think that they are all powerful. Than sad notion, do not work today because the youth of today, everything you do. That is why I make a soft no preach say boys no far among for social media. And I'm for your mamma what an anchor, so one never trim. Before they on the call him. So we need to do things right.
Okay. All right, Richard. Well, I can't even have one babo.
I say, if you say, when for baby, a bab and if you what would no. Yes, who to a bonnet and become to a bonnet and become one. No, you know, man for a relate ye Korea by ye, and the money you know, you're shake when you first wa. Yeah,
sure.
Because a be a job banner. As soon as I saw no, and begins soon, or Chinabi barbecue.
Yeah.
Mammy took me, Ocean Yama Waya. Yeah, quack twaba. Now, Jane Manson, what day am Rabbi Pass, the whole Ghana. Yeah, no centralized. Yeah, only in district office. Baby, no man. It will take you about 4-5 hours. To travel from your
community
and go to the district head office and then go and register.
Yes.
When you go, identify the district EC officer is a problem.
Yes.
I say we had to call ya. Omo say, Omo giving any attention, cra.
Of a case, any actually. That's a deliberate.
Deliberate. Until to one say, oh, common sense, I was man way. Problem wo share mama when you busa and say madam ni time I interview no be Chief Justice and I busa and say see a war Ghana has say o birth certificate ya dey na e ba announce say oh ya wo rich hospital ya fill form no sa form no so no ye be busa say o mama your friend saying o be friend saying o mama e Ghana ni ana wo say ai papa Ghana ni ana bla we akra no wo maame de be ma sa response no wo ko wo rich hospital a oba no ni information ni be busa wo no a kire se wo ye Ghana ni na wo papa so ye busa na se akra no papa no ye Ghana ni ana onye Ghana ni na no so ya true form no so enti ufa obia birth certificate ni lineage ni ba bia ofiri ni maame ni papa no ni nationality no it is stated there emphatically enti ufa form no to say se we Ghana ni ana onye Ghana ni na ye busa sa maame we sa question say madam tokuno say obi Ghana ni and birth certificate the be kire say Ghana ni ana say dey na be kire say ni pa kono Ghana ni we say eno ye primary document e be qualify say ubetima be Ghana ni na wo birth certificate in kire say Ghana ni sa da me say makoma so ka be me ya bom
ka pai TV no
me say what enti nipa say enya de no e kwako gina the whole Supreme Court of this country say onko a constitution now I am panel a man for some then we are sitting on a time bond. Mamma Niama or ye brother Chief Justice and all. And the money be on my say, oh, count me solid free. I say,
yeah.
Ya or transfer at times exercising over exercising her power. Only me say, Oponi, former Cocoa Board CEO, ni case. Bra na ni pakra na oti case ni so papa we my friend saying Januvo say, you can't say, free power, say, obe handle case. Obi fufro, say the man no share city, no. Judge from taking over the case, you know. And Chief Justice will transfer as judge, you know, at the call, Kumasi. What to say? A clear direction, sir, or per se on for before from them. Now, for sure, now, opponent. Auntie, Madam, Tokuno, dear. Meno, McGinn, times in Yama was your Ghana as a bra. President Akufo-Addo, Ghana had the whole Parliament House. A passing bra. He said LGBTQ plus and some. Ya shamra say President Shena sign. Now some la we membra. Now obi a odi sam nyama boni bia no. E mani ni mi no. Ena adian e macho President Kwan sign ye. E manu be ye mra. Enti no anka obi amponi hu kwan se otimi sa asem we kokko se kwaji injunction every bad you know and ye dey asem court Chief Justice one free case na for so many months ye to abawie ye December mu who say power assassin and san na omu free case no
yeah dismiss say
dismiss case say which the last car mu nko for the case no nyansa ni mutimu ti za case na mo de ban no ya bot rogu enti obi abe madam we dey ase President Akufo-Addo chechire and wo ka che ne say case we dey mama frɛ nenso anka we Supreme Court Chief Justice ne dey anka say wa hu say the common sense in it say case we a case of national interest so let me call this case that case in our court and avenue marking every Supreme Speaker of Parliament echo Supreme Court any 3 days ni after
was it 3 days
24 hours
any 24 hours so and oppose say about 2 or 10 12 no I pan
obi otimi fa pen ni paper chro amanfo din say president appoint you to Supreme Court dey what be that
wait me say
I'm na area
no yes I dey no me say mama we na dwem bibi wom bibi boni bi na o hwe papa ohu no na so wote ho a o hwe nanim nko an ni posture the eye the movement of the head and the way ultimate who say mama no pride I can say pride
pride
no don't use the word pride when it's rather arrogance
so tinina bom nti ewonimu sa si baby a ote no want me for sas etuban no na me dey me o mni so we oba dey bia I can say mama kwan nanso emma o me mambofo no de e wo se yan twi o mu tonto even feel baby o mten na me ade we ekoso manage because subversing the wills of the people always create chaos and mama no de I think omo transe the current national advisors to the president no some of who we no they are not biased now who said there's reason in it say mamu we best no impo me come expect say a direct dismissal from office go to her so now waste time and waste resource about this woman
Bradley so your time na we are
I said bait to konu senka obuni hu a o senka omune ho na se o se suban ni bia eya ye hwehwe baby omunipa
yes that is the word
na omune ho on feria de na ni mo ne dwe senko yo bia wo bune ho no feria de bunipa ko be hu se the to me bi anase dibia bi ma wo a eti se de ade afem wo Ati say what sit down now from what man say be hwe so ma no. Ghana wo yen Ghana for. Enti and e free bi tokonu ene. Senye ya. Nisu ni mfaso. So ni kunu edana ni kunu nya ade o se ni kunu ya ade o emfa obi ho. Ekwan ofa so ni kunu nyem ye emfa obi ho. Ekwan osori anope wadidi se wanidi ye me emfa me ho. Genti na me botokonu din ye bi. Ye di o man sika me tua to ne ye de hwe sa oba we me twi me hunu mu ni no ne we ne di tua de ka. Eye me ya. Se we ye me chief justice. Ana wa be me chief justice pen. Eye me ya.
To nyanko wi.
Na dia sa ye me ya bio ne se. Wa ma ne ho kwan ama amayokuo fota NPP. Amayokuo fo tantan NPP we. Ayu suno so one fan side on my way democracy. Oh, there has always been a very primitive mentality about encophobia wo we say. Your mommy to me say me chief justice me na me yem me amiara ne miara. There is nobody or onwara no onwara. Not even the president of Ghana is onwara no onwara. Nobody. Because the power resides always with the people of this country. It is a who the echo the narratives, the narrations around Mami Tokonono, it boils down to only one subject matter.
Okay.
The NPP before their exit had planned, said they will make nonsense of all law or legal arguments. Yeah, and these are led by John Mahama Edeba. And you know, their plan was to make sure say Akufo-Addo pack a cotono with NPP 4 party apparatchiks. Send Yebeya, Uma Sam Society Kokota, because Akufo-Addo has already created a criminal syndicate. Edia Wiayeno, some criminal syndicates no, or more benefited from a Nyoma Bonia Akoso Akufo-Addo Abemu. And unti wo Akufo-Addo. Sisa cotono, na ye kofie kura sika ye wia no. Ye kwa court no be bon sem na gu because ye no mu nyina na be di case e be di sika no. Ensase ye no mu na wia sika ye no mu na e be die dada. Enunti no fatokonu onu na sabio ye di assembly ba court or be empanel judges. Panu patna ho. Ne fani pa mako 11 koka ne ho e wo Supreme Court ho. Eyire so paya Supreme Court ne di assembly baba. Enunti no pake court no na Akufo-Addo pake court no. Etu timi usa akwa bi ye friend ya wo gawo se gawo gatete o se gawo den yo. Boye parliamentary candidate Tesa Listowel akodina o se muntu aba mame on the ticket of NPP. God forbid anyway. Na me makodina wi ene ye say Listowel say no why a parliamentary candidate so the Supreme Court.
All right.
NPP 4. Etimeno, John Mahama can reset no. The first place after that party.
Na court no.
A court.
Okay.
Because John Assistant Chief Justice. Me am one some person because they are political. Why must it not be political? This is to salvage the situation all the time. Okay. Politics. A bomb here the peri your eba. Unless you want to tell me say politics not the papa. Why would you have to be political? And what say NDC did say yes, you pursue a pump chief justice because why a lawless lawyer?
Thank you.
Lawless.
All right.
So we want to make what your friend is saying
yeah.
I mean unim. When the Babylon is falling, let us be happy and be glad.
Okay.
Because Jericho face on ebubu. To Mahama say free sro na bodu nya twani ti ade aka nyina ya homa
Me da say
e tie ti twani nyina tuntumu
na yedi me kwa
ni mu afu because o mahu say o mo plan no e to ati sika na o ma wia no ye ba be je
me da
reset they thought he was joking.
Okay.
He means business and we have reset it and put him ade we abrewa we say go nwu a e ke fa sanka no me da say wait or come. The former Chief Justice.
Okay.
And I'm